Morning, peeps. Happy Sunday. Yesterday, in the Peach State Report, I brought to you information on Georgia congressional candidate Tori Branum for District 12. I brought information to you how she had acknowledged or admitted that she was the reason for the ICE raid down at the Hyundai plant in South Georgia. Yeah, she did a video. I didn't make that up. Here's a clip of it.
So there were 452 illegals apprehended at the Hyundai mega plant construction site yesterday near Savannah. And I was the one that reported the information that I had to ICE.
Now, I don't want you to be confused because she says Hyundai when it's actually Hyundai. Listen, she's a MAGA nut, so you can't expect professionalism, cultural sensitivity, intelligence. No, the only thing that you can expect from a MAGA nut is a lack of cultural sensitivity, hatred, racism, discrimination, incompetence. That's all you get from MAGA nuts, and she is a MAGA nut. Anywho, let me get back on track. In yesterday's Peach State Report, I introduced Tori Branum, the candidate, and how she conducts herself out there on social media. The mis and disinformation, the lies, the lack of cultural sensitivity, her inability to think past her discrimination and her racism, which causes harm to the citizens of District 12. That's what I introduced to you in yesterday's Peach Report when it comes to the candidate Tori Branum. Today, we're going to talk about the damage that has been caused by candidate Tori Branum because of her lack of cultural sensitivity, because of her hatred and her racism and her discrimination. We're going to talk about the damage that she caused in regards to U.S. and South Korea relationships, and the damage that she has caused to the state of Georgia. I got my notes right here because I've been going back and forth thinking on things all morning so that I can bring this information to you. Tori proudly announced that she was the one that called ICE and reported the Hyundai factory and assumed that the workers in that factory were illegal workers, right? She had no real evidence. If she did, she would have shared that in the video that she did, but she didn't. She kept all of that information anonymous, right? And she went on to assume that they were living five to a household, that they were being paid fairly, and all of these racist things that they talk about out there on social media. That's what she brought. That was the reason why she called ICE on those workers.
I was the one that reported the information that I had to ICE.
Tori. And as a result of you calling ICE, the raid led to the detention of nearly 500 workers. Most of them were South Korean nationals, and they were forced. As a result of the raid, they were forced to pause construction of the $7.6 billion Hyundai LG plant, which is Georgia's largest economic development project currently. This delay threatens the plant's scheduled opening and disrupts Hyundai's supply chain and investment plans in the U.S.
I was the one that reported the information that I had to ICE.
Tori, you calling ICE is the reason why nearly 500 workers were detained. And because of that, South Korea, the government has had to come out and express some strong concerns about how their workers, their citizens, were being mistreated. hmm They've also had to dispatch diplomats to Georgia to secure their release, to be there to speak up and protect the rights of those Korean citizens.
I was the one that reported the information that I had to ICE.
Tori, because of your actions, the South Korea's foreign ministry called the detentions a large and serious issue. And another company that works in conjunction with Hyundai and is a part of South Korea, LG Energy Solution, they had to suspend all of their business trips to the United States and has advised their employees to return home. This reaction signals a potential chill in economic and diplomatic ties, especially as South Korea is a key U.S. ally and an investor. That's what your actions did, Tori.
I was the one that reported the information that I had to ICE.
Tori, as a result of your actions in getting close to 500 workers detained, the business, the company, Hyundai, has had to come out because of the reputational harm that your call that led to the detaining of nearly 500 workers has caused. You've caused reputational harm for Hyundai. Hyundai has stated that none of the detained workers were directly employed by the company, but the raid has exposed vulnerabilities in its subcontractor network. I guess that's a good thing, Tori, right there. And so now the company faces more scrutiny over labor practices and compliance within U.S. immigration laws, which could lead to fines, which could lead to legal action, and which could lead to increased oversight. Is that what you were intending to do, Tori? I'm sure you view that as a good thing. Yeah, it's not a good thing, Tori, because instead of having to deal with all of this, they'll just not do business with the state of Georgia and the United States.
I was the one that reported the information that I had to ICE.
Tori, because you called ICE to report illegal immigrants when you knew nothing of the sort working in the Hyundai plant. Yeah, I showed up and detained nearly 500 employees. And now, because of this incident, now there's this division happening amongst local Republicans, the local Republican Party, and the National Republican Party. Georgia officials who had promoted the Hyundai plant as a transformative economic project now face questions about oversight and the use of taxpayer incentives. Local lawmakers have called for accountability, and public sentiment is now divided between support for immigration enforcement and concern over the economic fallout. Because you see, Tori, you calling ICE, it has resulted in economic fallout. For the state of Georgia, for Hyundai, it has disrupted and caused friction between the relationship between South Korea officials and Georgia officials and United States officials. Yeah, Tori, that's what your call did.
I was the one that reported the information that I had to ICE.
No, wait, y'all. There's more. There's more damage because of Tori's call to ICE to report illegal workers that she had no idea, no proof were at this facility. The raid sends a cautionary signal to other foreign investors about the risks of operating in the United States under the current immigration enforcement climate. The incident may deter future investments, especially from companies reliant on international labor, and could prompt South Korea firms to reconsider their U.S. expansion plans. So, yeah, Tori, your call damages possible business coming to the United States in the future, specifically here in the state of Georgia.
I was the one that reported the information that I had to ICE.
No, wait, y'all. One last thing. We got to talk about the local impact as a result of Tori's call. Yeah, the businesses that are in the area, the restaurants that are in the area. Yeah, we got to talk about how Tori's call impacted their business. Local businesses that rely on Hyundai workers, such as the restaurants in the area, the shops in the area, they are already reporting a loss in revenue. The raid has created a level of fear and uncertainty, which could further destabilize the local economy and the workforce. That's because of you and your call, Tori. So to all of my peeps who reside down in Georgia District 12, make sure you spread the word. This is Tori Branum. Tori Branum is running for Senate. She's running to represent you, Georgia District 12. In my opinion, Tori Branum is dangerous for the citizens of Georgia District 12. She is dangerous to the local economy of Georgia District 12. She's dangerous to the economy of the state of Georgia. She's dangerous to the United States economy. Why? Because she doesn't view a situation and then sits and ponders and gets the information of all sides of the coin. She doesn't do that. She solely tackles a situation through the lens of discrimination, through racism, through hatred, and through white supremacy. That makes her dangerous. Because of her call that she was so proud to admit that she made, that got 500 workers detained. That call and that raid as a result of her call has damaged the trust between Hyundai and Georgia. It has strained U.S. and South Korea relations. And it has raised concerns about the stability of foreign investments in the United States. The long-term impact will depend on how quickly this situation that she has brought forth is resolved, and whether or not Hyundai and its partners can demonstrate their compliance with U.S. law. That's what Tori's call did. She is dangerous. Do your research. Vote for the alternatives.